Welcome to another edition of Live from the Drum Room. My name is Steve Holmes. It's Saturday, April 8th, 2023. We're broadcasting live here from the Los Angeles area in my drum room. On these streams, we play drums, we talk drums. Folks post questions and comments, and that usually generates the conversation. That's really the fun part. But today's kind of cool, kind of special because we got some new overhead mics. We got some new overhead mics that I just set up. These are the Audix SCX25A. All right, this is what we're looking at, otherwise known as the lollipop mic. I just set these up, spent some time getting some levels. I got out the old measuring tape, make sure that the mics are the equal distance from the snare. That is the extent of my engineering knowledge. So yeah, I figured folks would be interested in checking out the new mic. So I mean, I'm not planning on going crazy today in terms of playing. I just wanted to kind of demo the new mics because, you know, it's exciting, and I had done a post on my YouTube channel, like a community post saying like, hey, got some new overheads and that kind of thing, and so I thought it would be cool to share. So we're checking cool. Oh yeah, we're checking out the stream on all the channels. Make sure that it's up and running. We're streaming to YouTube. We're streaming to Facebook and Twitter, and also Kick. Kick.com, for those of you not familiar, is a new streaming service that's basically a copy of Twitch, except it allows gambling, apparently. That was one of the differences. A bunch of folks were not happy with the fact that they couldn't show gambling games on Twitch, and so they went and started another service called Kick.com. So we signed up for that, and we're streaming to that just because we can. So folks might be at this point like, let's hear the overhead mics. So I guess I'll do a little playing, a little demo of what the kit sounds like now. Please, if there was ever a time to post feedback, it would be now. It's all about the comments and the questions. I'm going to turn off the speakers here, which I was using to get sounds. But when we're streaming live, we shouldn't have the speakers on. So they're off. Again, my name is Steve Holmes. Welcome. We're going to do a little drumming. And let me know if it sounds, you know, broken or bad or good or whatever. All right? So I'll do a little bit of playing, and then we'll take it from there. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for hanging out. All right, we're going to do this. And All right. We did a thing. We did a thing. It wasn't, there's no need to go on and on. It's just all the same stuff over and over. I'm out of shape, huh? Man, need to start doing some exercise other than drumming and walking my dog. That's the extent of my exercise these days. How are we doing? All right, yeah, we have the correct microphones on. It's always key when you're trying to talk to people. Anyway, what's up, folks? My name is Steve Holmes. We're streaming live from the Los Angeles area, playing some drums, talking some drums, playing a little. Not playing a whole lot. There's no need to go crazy, although I say that and I end up just kind of going crazy. Thanks for hanging out. So yeah, new overheads today. New overheads. We get the Audix SCX25A. This is what we're using. All right, just for the overheads. It's the same mics. Same mics everywhere else. We spend some time dialing stuff in, and I'm not using a room mic today. Up until today, we had one overhead and then one room mic because I wanted a room mic, and I decided to sacrifice an overhead so that I could have a room mic. So I just went with one overhead, kind of center channel, and had a room mic. And so I put up the new overheads and no room mic just to kind of see how that sounded. I was kind of happy with it. And I got the overheads panned a little bit traditionally, left and right, and I tried to play a lot of the cymbals to see how that sounded to folks. Let's see, Rayo on Facebook says, how would you approach or count an 11/8 groove, funk fusion or whatever? Maybe we'll revisit that. Topic. Let's see, Jamie Black says, sounds great on YouTube. Thank you so much. Gil on Facebook says, it sounds amazing. Okay, this is good. The mics are working out so far. Let's see, Aziz on YouTube says, hello, Mr. Holmes. It's always a pleasure to listen. Have a great session. Thank you. Dave on YouTube says, it would be great if you could play to some music. Playing drums gets boring after a while. You know what, Dave? I agree. And oh man, I keep saying that I'm gonna do it, and I don't do it. I have a tune picked out, and I keep practicing it, but I haven't gotten the live mix happy with me playing with music yet. I'm working on that, and you're right. I totally agree, and I appreciate you saying that because it's just gonna motivate me. Will Evertson, longtime houseofdrumming.com veteran. What's up, Will? Everything sounds great, pleasantly crispy, nice, especially the cymbals. Good to hear. Thank you, Will. Really appreciate the feedback. It's good to, to get other folks' opinion. It's interesting. This is one of the benefits of being able to to hit a button and stream live is like, hey, let's plug in the new thing and see what folks think. So I appreciate the feedback. I think it's in a good place. I spent a bunch of time, you know, testing it and recording myself and listening back. And that's the thing about, I mean, I don't have an isolation room in here. It's just me and my setup here with this laptop. So if I need to, check the sound, I need to record myself and listen back like every time, and then make changes, and then kind of rinse and repeat. So that's what we're doing here. Let's see. The Mika Reynolds says extra wrinkle of room sound added. It's nice. Seems to be working good. Okay. Yeah. Nelson on Facebook says nice sound. Thank you very much. Borba Cymbals on YouTube says good to NAMM this year. Probably man, am I going to NAMM this year? No plans to go to NAMM this year. Thanks for asking though. Let's see. Boneman on YouTube says, a bit off topic, how many hours of playing do you think you have? Will says veteran. Yeah. Will, you're a veteran of houseofdrumming.com. You and I have met, and you've been on House of Drumming for years. For those that don't know, houseofdrumming.com is this drum site that I've had for quite some time, since the mid 90s, I'd say mid 90s actually. And a lot of folks hang out on there and just kind of chat drums still to this day. It's the same group of what I imagine to be like these curmudgeon, old drummers on there talking about the good old days and whatever. But that's not true exactly. Will, you're certainly not old. I'm the old guy. I'm going to be 51 in June. Let's see. Will says room mic along with these new overheads could be interesting. Should you have a channel to use? I do have a channel to use, actually, and I thought about maybe setting that up here today, just for funsies. What are your thoughts about seat height? Says, truth be told, the trend seems for players to sit higher. I'm all about like my thighs kind of being flat, in terms of seat height. I don't want, and I've talked about this a lot on the stream, actually. I don't want my thighs to be kind of up when I'm playing or down. They're kind of flat, and it's important to me to be centered. I talk about this all the time, and I'm going to talk about it again because it's important. I just have that weight in the center. Make sure you can play with all four limbs at the same time without losing your balance or feeling like whatever. Make sure you can play with all four limbs at the same time, and your weight is like in the center. That's my approach to that. Centered weight and flat thighs. Sounds like the name of a band. Ladies and gentlemen, it's centered weight and flat thighs. Let's see. Glenn Pinto on YouTube says, thank you, Steve, for sharing your amazing ideas with us. Greetings from India. Wow, Glenn in India. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate the support. Wow, folks, tuning in from other countries and stuff. It's pretty crazy. All right, let's see what's going on the kick.com stream, because the chat for that does not get, I have to actually go to the stream to see if there's any chat. And I don't know anyone on there. I don't know anyone on Kick, and so I'm not expecting any chat, and just as I suspected, there is none. Okay, well, slow and steady wins the race. That's what we like to say. Let's see. Benedict Stefan on Facebook says, if you had to pick only one, what would your favorite drummer be? Hey, look, there's someone from Twitch here. Matalore from Twitch. Hello. We usually don't get a lot of Twitch folks here on the stream. Welcome, Matalore. Thanks for hanging out on twitch.tv. My favorite drummer of all time is Vinny Colaiuta, without a doubt. For a number of reasons. I mean, there's other guys that I mean, I think that, when it comes to music and drumming and drummers, and, if you're in the mood to listen to whatever, sax players or drummers or bass players and stuff, it's like, I like to say that, and this is for movies too and TV shows, a craving for one cannot be satisfied by the other, right? So if you're in the mood to listen to some, like, some young and hungry Tony Williams, then listening to, Vinny is not going to satisfy that craving. Just like if I'm in the mood to listen to some slick like Vinny or something, then listening to like John Bonham is not going to satisfy that craving. That doesn't mean that anyone is any better or worse. you know, it's just like I said, you know, hey, I'm in the mood for this, and so I kind of want to see that, you know. And everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and I'm all about like comparing the strengths and weaknesses and finding interesting differences more so than being like, well, this is better than that, and that guy is better than this, and whatever. I don't think that's productive. I think it's much more productive and positive and constructive to just to get to know folks and get familiar with their work, because that's what you're going to benefit from, and then just compare them with other things. You know, it doesn't have to be like, oh, this is so much better and that guy's not as good as this other guy. And having said that, Vinny is the greatest drummer of all time. Oh man, it's funny. Hey guys, it's Will Plout. Will, you're here again with the gush. Will, did you hear the gush with the new overhead mics? Sounds good, dude. Sounds good. Let's do a gush just for Will. Will, you get a gush with the new mics. Gush is a floor time in China. Let's do a gush. Snare mic. All right, there was an exaggerated gush at the end of that, okay? Oh, man. I just noticed my snare mic was like, oh, man. That thing gets moved around and stuff. Anyway, I hope you're doing well, Will. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. What else we got? Okay, so we talked about my favorite drummer. Benedict is from Romania. Nice. Right, Benedict on Facebook. Let's see. Our Twitch viewer, Matalor, says, how are you? I'm from Italy, so I can speak English, but I'm not so good at it. Okay, no problem, Matalor. Thanks for hanging out. The gush is in your room sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, so this is just overheads, no room mic right now. I thought about maybe hooking up a room mic just for fun on the stream, maybe. It's the kind of thing that I'm hesitant to do because of tripping over things and breaking things and making a fool out of myself, but later on I'll regret not trying it. So yeah, I guess we can try it. What do you guys think? Should I try to hook up an overhead? It's going to take a few minutes. I don't know how entertaining it'll be. Otherwise, I can just play. If you want me to play, I mean, I'm just going to play the same stuff. Although someone did ask about 11.8. Royo actually had the first comment. I should address Royo's comment really quick. He asked about playing an 11.8. Royo, you know, it depends, man, on the song. Usually tunes that are in odd meter like that, they have like a riff, you know, that is, you know, it kind of spells out the odd meter. Like, for example, you said 11.8. That reminds me of a tune from a band called Charisma that Vinny plays in, and they do a tune in 11.8. Yes, and it's 11/8 notes, but it's divided up in like 3/4 and then 5/8. And the 3/4 is 6/8 notes, right? So it's 6 and 5 together is 11, right? So instead of being intimidated by a big number, it's good to find a song, you know, that has a riff that's kind of catchy. Like, for example, the riff of that tune is it's like, right? So it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, right? This is on a disc called Document. Okay, the band is Charisma. The album is called Document, and it's the first track. And it's called Heavy Resin. Actually, that's the tune, Heavy Resin. And I can demonstrate that groove just a little, like a simple, you know, and again, like 3/4 and 5/8. This is what I'm thinking. And this is one of the benefits of, like, you get comfortable playing at 5, you get comfortable playing in 7, then so you can start to combine those things. It's like, oh, well, what if I play in 13? It's like, okay, well, it's 6 and 7. I can play in 6. Most people can play in 6. If you can play in 3, you can play in 6. I mean, it depends. It depends on the intention of the music. If you want to talk to the composer if you can, or whatever, just try to figure out what the intention of the music is. Is it supposed to feel like constant eighth notes? Because some music is like that, or is it like, can we start to group the 2 eighth notes into a quarter note? That kind of thing. So it really depends on the music. So let me see if I can remember the groove from that tune. This is 3, 4, and 5, 8, which is actually 11, 8. But I'm pretty sure I screwed up in there a couple times. The time got, at the very least, the time got a little elastic, right? So it was not a perfect example, but the thing that's carrying me through that is just I'm singing that riff to myself. It's like if there's a catchy riff, that's gonna carry me, and maybe carry you. And so I'm kind of translating, and this is often how many drummers come up with drum parts, as they hear music and they translate that music to this language, right? And so once you can get familiar with that riff, right? So there's 3, right? And then 5, 8. And if you loop the 5, 8, it's just so you kind of separate them, and then put them together. And so that's what I did. So it depends on the song, is the answer. And if you're just practicing, 11, 8 by yourself, then just divide it up in different ways. Or if you don't want to divide it up, if you just want to play this odd thing that just takes up 11 eighth notes, then I would suggest just writing it out. Writing out a phrase that you think sounds cool and memorizing it and being able to play it, and then, vary it. That's how you do it. You learn something, you lock it down, and then you start like changing it up and creating these variations on it without losing the primary thing. That's the thing. If you stray from the pack, want to make sure you're maintaining. You don't want to obviously lose the time or lose one or whatever. Like, that was very sloppy what I was doing a lot of times, but I was just kind of went with it. So that's me playing an 11/8. Let's see, Benedict. on Facebook says, how did your motivation for playing drums and studying change over the years, and what are your main reasons for the changes, if there were any? Main motivation for playing drums and studying, how did my motivation change over the years? And what were the main reasons for the changes? Geez. I don't think my motivation has ever, like, I've been doing this for the same reasons. Like, my reasons have never changed, really. In terms of motivation, I mean, that can vary over time in terms of what your current goal is. Like, if you have a gig that you're not ready for and you need to practice for that gig, then that's your motivation, you know? Your motivation is your goals. You know, if you're like, hey, I really want to play jazz and I need to get my jazz playing together because I love jazz and I want to be a part of jazz and I want to make jazz music, then that's your motivation for that period of time while you're practicing, you know? Or if your hands aren't, in a place that you're happy with, or whatever, like whatever you're working on, that's the motivation. But ultimately, all those motivations are under the top motivation of just like making music. Making music with people, even though I don't do that a whole lot these days, it's still the thing, But aside from that, I mean, I kind of have a personal standard that I have for myself. Like I want to be at a certain level. I want to be able to do certain things. I want to be the person that can do certain things and play in a certain fashion, and that's my motivation as well. The person that I want to be, the drummer that I want to be, for better or for worse, the energy that I want to project. The statements that I want to make, etc. These are all motivations. But if you're wondering about like drastic, like if my philosophy, like if I've changed my philosophy and stuff over the years, I mean, there has been times where I've kind of re-examined my technique and like, oh, I'm playing too stiff, or I'm burying my sticks, or I'm playing into the drums too much, or I need to be pulling the sound out, or, that kind of stuff. Like big philosophical, adjustments that will affect like, your approach to the drums and the things that you practice and the way that you play. I mean, that has occurred over the years as well. I'd like to think that I've progressed in that regard. I've gotten better. I mean, for years and years, like right around the holidays, right on Christmas time or whatever, Hanukkah, I'm like, am I better this year? Am I better now than I was a year ago at this time? Or at any time of year, you're like, if you remember how you were a year ago, the things I can do now that I couldn't do a year ago. And it doesn't have to be as simple as like, oh, the measurement doesn't have to be like, I can do something on the drums now that I couldn't before. It doesn't have to be that binary, it could be something along the lines of like, well, I have a better understanding of playing music, because I spent a lot of time listening to whatever, like how folks solo over a form, and I have a better understanding of that, and so I'm better equipped to do that, or I've got my low volume playing a lot better, so I'm better equipped to comp for different instruments because I've got a wider range of volume to play at when people are soloing. Or different venues are smaller and you need to, do that real-time mixing that we talk about, So I'm kind of going all over the place, but I think it's all kind of under the umbrella of the question of changing motivation over the years. All right, so that was for Benedict Stefan on Facebook. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Nico on YouTube says, how to play the Vinnie groove from Going Nowhere. I believe that the main groove from Going Nowhere is separated into two parts, and that's one of my favorite tunes ever. And I've never sat down and like played along with that record. I have spent some time analyzing it though. Like if you guys are not familiar with this tune, Going Nowhere. It's from the first self-titled Jing Chi CD, which is one of my favorite all-time recordings. I've said before, like that's my favorite drum sound ever. I befriended the engineer of that CD on Facebook because I was thinking about like hiring him to come to my house and like help dial in my drum sound, but I haven't done that yet. But anyways, I always mention this song because I think it's a great example of coming up with a drum part in a genius way, because the main riff of this tune, Going Nowhere, is this. Dun, 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 dun. Like that's it. That's the riff. And I mean, the stuff that Vinny plays on there is pretty amazing. And I think it's interesting, you know, that process of him hearing that riff and being like, okay, here's what I'm going to play. And what he plays is, I mean, I'm almost as like, let me see if I can like just like in a basic way demonstrate that groove. It's pretty simple actually. It's just like ride cymbal and cross stick and a lot of like little left foot finesse splashes and stuff in between. It's pretty simple. Let me see if I can. Here I'm like, it's amazing. It's simple. I'm just kidding. It's not simple, or it's deceptively simple. Anyways, let's see if we can get that going. You know, like basic broad strokes. That's pretty much it. Let's see if we can find that actually. Let's see if we can find that. There might be a live version, but I'm not interested in that. Jeez. Yeah, so like I said, that groove is like, it's like two parts. And the first one, you know, I noticed the right cymbal comes right before the cross stick, you know, ding, ding, dagat, ding, ding, dagat. And then after that, it's just like, you know, the cross stick is busier with like two right cymbal notes in between each one. Dagat, 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 that kind of thing. So we're getting our earbuds untangled here. All right, so we have this, and what happens if I play something? I'm not sure if it's going to come out on the stream. All right, stand by. Oh man, this tune. Oh, is it coming through? It is. All right, the longer we let it play, the more the more like likely we'll get like a copyright infringement thing on the stream. Could you guys hear that all right? Let me know if you could hear that, because I don't do a lot of like playing audio through the stream. Let me know if you could hear that music. You can see what I'm saying. It's like, you know, a lot of ride cymbal, cross stick, like you can hear like little splashes with the left foot and that kind of thing. Matthias is here, says the new overhead mics sound great. Thank you so much, Matthias. Okay, cool. You can hear the music. All right, cool. That's fun. I don't do that a lot on here. And I noticed, like, I don't know, if you play copywritten music and stuff, a lot of times you don't get like a strike on your channel. You get like a thing, shared revenue, where now the publisher actually, you know, gets a share of the revenue that you make. So that's the tune. It's a great track. And notice the lack of bass drum. Okay, so let's listen to that again a little bit and notice the lack of bass drum.
Sitting in the Going nowhere, looking for the smoking gun. Watch the leaves fall to the ground. Going nowhere, awaken to the
All right, B section. Yeah, Robin Ford, man. Yeah, come on. Come on. Man. Love that tune. How can you not love that tune? You know? 3 guys in a room, and Robin and Jimmy, whoever, they're like, hey, check out this riff. And like, that's what he plays. That's why Vinny's the greatest. That's why he's the greatest. Because from this little thing comes this magic music, you know? And this is kind of interesting. Like, if you listen to someone enough, you know, we all have our favorite drummers and stuff. Like, if you listen to someone enough, you can really, you know, you start to see the patterns and you start to, you know, oh, he's doing that thing and this thing from this other thing and stuff. And you get kind of a sense of their different, their range and their gears, you know? And so you're kind of like, oh, yeah, he's going to this place. And you can hear the energy and, like, the aggression, you know, coming out of that second B section, going back to the second verse, you know, and he goes to the bell, ding, 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 and like, come on. See, I get jazzed. Talk about motivation to play drums. You know, love that song. Anyway, that's from the self-titled Jing Chi recording. This tune is called Going Nowhere. And as you see now that you've heard the tune, like, I butchered it. You know, I just try to demonstrate. Just try to demonstrate the basic gist of that groove. Yeah. Let's see what folks are saying. Yeah. Track is breathing so great. Yes, that track, man. Oh. Let's see. Hi, Steve. Is practicing sticking patterns on a surface that offers no rebound good for the hands, please? Sure. Glenn on Facebook. Glenn on YouTube. Glenn Pinto. Yeah, I must say I am a proponent of playing on a surface that doesn't balance. I have spent a lot of time doing that. I think there is value to being able to do what I call, like, powering out the strokes. You know, I think that is useful on the drums. You know, switch between doubles and singles. You know, on pillows, on your leg, on whatever, you know, whatever surface. Although I don't think it should encapsulate everything about your playing, I think that there's also value to rebound and getting good at recognizing what your hands feel like when the stick is, like, bouncing back, you know? And I think those 2 layers, those 2 gears or whatever, can work together, depending upon what you're playing, how fast you're playing, how much space you have between the notes. So, I mean, you can tell, too, when folks, like, you know, have a limited range of volume because they can only play light. Or if they can only pound because they've only played, like, you know, pulling notes out, you know, playing into the drums. You know, that's what Wehol would always say. I took a couple lessons with Dave, and that was one of the things, you know, he would talk about, because he's so into rebound and, you know, the Freddie Gruber thing, and he would always talk about pulling the sound out of the drums instead of playing into them, and I think there's value to that, actually. Although when I was learning how to play drums in junior high and high school, I put on the headphones and I played along to, like, Van Halen and Rush records, and I was not finessey. I was beating the crap out of my drums and powering out those singles, and I think there's, like I keep saying, I think there's value to that too. you know, like I keep saying, pros and cons, strengths and weaknesses of different things, and putting them together in the way that you want. You know, that's kind of what I'm about. Let's see, who needs bass drum with such a great bass player and sound? Yes, Matthias agreed. I think there's a little bass drum on the outro of that track. A little bit. But not a lot. Even on that B section, man, when it gets kind of heavy and whatever, you know. I'll tell you one of my favorite tunes. If we're gonna do this, if we're gonna listen to Jing Chi, we have to listen to one of my favorite. Those that know. Those that know. I want to fast forward a little bit. Oh, sorry. Okay, now you can hear it. Check this out. Oops. Check out the China here. Yeah, see, cranking up the energy. Check out this fill right here. Fives on the hat. B section. Yeah. Come on. Go get this recording if you don't have it. Go get Jing Chi. If you don't have it, man. Woo! Train song. Let's see, what are folks saying? Practicing. I love when Vinny adds those timbali-ish rhythms. Yeah. Any tips on those? I don't have any tips other than just, you know, if you like it, then cop it, you know. That big fill that he does. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of little finessey stuff in there, you guys. Little buzzes with the left hand. You hear that China thing. You know, and that backbeat never stops. That time is just rock solid, and he's just making musical layers over top. It's crazy. You know, the thing with the hi-hat where he's accenting. I think he's doing fives there, and he's accenting the 4th and 5th 16th note on the hat, like, while keeping the groove going. And it's like, you know, and I guarantee that stuff is just all off the cuff. He's just like, all right, let's go, let's do it. And he just does it. It's just nuts. It's nuts. Let's see. Insane Observer says, Steve, do you have any double bass drum things that you're working on? If not, any lessons could part. I think on the last stream, I did a big double bass thing. A couple streams ago, actually. If you look on past streams on my channel, in the description of the stream, there should be like clickable timestamps. And a couple of them have a double bass section. So check that out. If anyone hasn't seen my YouTube channel, please check it out and subscribe. We're trying to up that subscriber count. Okay, we're trying to get it up. Trying to get it up there. Hey guys, look on Facebook. It's Andy Sinisi, one of my favorite drummers. Andy, what's up, brother? Drum hugs to you. I love how Andy showed up like when we started playing tracks. That's so great. And he's like, forget this boring. Like when I'm drumming, he's like, you know, like, oh, we're playing some cool music. Yeah, I'm gonna chime in. Oh yeah, I miss you too, man. We hung out like one time, like years ago now, and 2 years. Yeah, yeah, that was good. It was a good hang. Oh, stop it, Andy. You guys, Andy Sinisi gigs. He's maybe the busiest drummer that I've seen like in town. Andy and like Gene Coy and Joel Taylor and Steve Haas. Like those are the guys like that, you know, on Facebook I see just like every night. They're like, here's me and gigging, and it's crazy, you know. And you wouldn't know it because he looks like a classic LA Santa Monica beach bum, right? With his leather jacket and his sunglasses, and then he starts playing Latin music and you're like, whoa, what's going on? Andy, I'm so jealous of your Latin stuff. It's so cool. Yeah, this is fun. Palladium on Charisma Document is insane. Yes, I agree. That whole live record with Charisma. Actually, my favorite track on there, believe it or not, is it's not the best song in the world, but I really like the guitar solo. And the feel is really difficult to play, and Vinny just he plays very well. I'll forego the dude, he slays it, you know. I'll forego that stuff, but he plays ridiculous. Anyway, it's the second tune. It's called Aliens Rip My Face Off. Since we're playing DJ today, let's see if we can find that one. Really gonna get in trouble. Charisma. Aliens Ripped My Face Off. Let's see. Oh, okay, here we go. Check out this fill. See, swung but straight. So you straight fills in a swung context. Not the best song in the world. Some of the keyboard patch choices are interesting. This tune actually has a great bludgeon example. That's long. I can't play this whole thing. Yeah, come on. Oh man, don't get me started. We're gonna be here all day. Yeah, Landau. Yeah. Get after him. Love that, like vacuum effect. All right, where's that bludge though? There's a cool bludge in here. There you go, Will. Double bludge to. Okay, here comes the cool bludge to, or double bludge I meant. Yeah. Let's play that one. Doom blues, doom blues, doom blows, blah 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 blows, blah blows, blah 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 band. That's fun. Let's do that. stu blue stu blue stu blow stu blah 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 stu blow stu blah blah blah. Oh man, I think I mentioned that tune on the Bludge video, right? Anyway, this is fun. It'll be interesting to see what YouTube does with this stream, with all the copywritten music now playing on it. We'll see. What else are folks saying? Sounds amazing. How are we doing on Kick? Kick.com. Yep, the stream is playing. No one's there. All right, that's fine. We're giving Kick a chance. We're giving Kick a chance. Oh, you know what? I think maybe, did the stream get taken down on YouTube? Because the comments stopped. Dun, dun, dun. Oh no, it's still going. Still going. All right. Kind of talk to myself at this point. Right? Am I talking to myself? Going. Guess one could argue I'm talking to myself. Still going. All right. Kind of talk to myself at this point. Right? Am I talking to myself? I guess I am talking to myself. Oh. Guess one could argue I'm talking to myself. I guess we were talking to ourselves. It's crazy. All right. It's a ball of mirrors thing. Kind of talk to myself at this point. All right. Enough of that. It's getting crazy. Getting crazy. All right. Let's go back to the regular camera. That was nuts. We were being crazy there. All right. All right, so I guess I'm going to play a little bit more, and then we're going to call it. All right. I just wanted to do a little stream today and show off the new overhead mics. All right. So maybe maybe I'll do a thing where I'm just kind of snare and toms, like grooving and improvising on that stuff to kind of just see how it sounds like with just that. Instead of traditional grooves. Let's see what happens with that. So yeah, I tried to do a thing where it's like I play the same stuff, but like slow, you know, as opposed to like sometimes when you slow stuff down, you start to play different. You start to subdivide within that slow tempo. And I tried to just play the stuff I would normally play at a fast tempo, but at a slower tempo. And there's one lick in particular that I'm really struggling with. It's a Louis Palmer lick. And every time I do it, I have to do it over and over to kind of force myself. It's like foot, right, left, right, left, right. I'm still struggling with that a bit. Let's look at that for a second. Foot, right, left, right, left, right. It's interesting. It's just two triplets. It's except the first one is foot, right, left, which is easy enough, and the second one is just right, left, right. You know. Yeah, that one is not. That one is not second nature yet. So that's like me trying to say it slowly for my brain. I'm like, okay, brain, do you get it? It's foot right, left, right, left, right. Again, I got that from Louis Palmer, who's a great drummer. So props to Louis for that one. Let's see. Johan with the new comment. Thank you. Let's see which Gene would put. Gene, the latest was a little soft. Yeah, Kevin Hood talking about the last release from Jing Chi. I mean, yeah, I mean that record obviously it reflects where those guys are right now, and they're you know they're. I mean, it speaks for itself, right? I mean, the older folks get, the more kind of they just play different than they do before, and again, like hesitant to be like, oh, it's better, it's worse. It's just like it's just different. This is just where they are, But there is something to be said about like like your whole life or like these recordings where it's like, okay, this is what this is. This is what this playing is about. These are the traits that you'll find a lot in this kind of playing, and then you kind of change that, and you're like, well, those traits are gone, or reduced in a lot of ways, and it's like, okay, well, I was kind of expecting the traits from before, but whatever. I mean, one could argue that that's just progressing and maturing, or whatever. It's interesting. Let's see. Thomas says hi there, bass player from Argentina. Greets, yeah. Greets, Thomas from Argentina. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. Don Stahl, thank you very much for the compliment. Robert Steven says, hey, Steve, kid sounds great. Always your playing is inspiring. Thank you, Don. Killer Sticking, yeah, Matthias, I agree. That's a cool lick. I'm trying to like, every time I play that lick where I try to like, where my brain is like, okay, play this thing, and my hands are like, whoa, wait a second. So I haven't quite crossed that line yet of like second nature with that lick. Okay. Well, I feel like we've been here for a while. So I think we're going to wrap it up. We're going to call it here in a moment. My name is Steve Holmes. Thanks for hanging out. Anyone that's interested in supporting can do so on the YouTube channel. There's different ways to help support financially. There's like you can leave a super or a super thanks or something. I don't have a Patreon or anything, so this is it. This is my little digital tin cup for the information that we provide here. So yeah, any support would be appreciated. I'm at steveholmes@gmail.com if anyone needs to email about anything. And thanks for hanging out for another amazing drum stream. It's amazing because of you guys. And also because of my shoes. These shoes are amazing. Hookahs. Today's stream is brought to you by Hookah. These shoes are so comfy. And normally I get black shoes, but you know, I wanted to get something colorful this time. And my feet feel good when I'm playing drums with these shoes, by the way. Anyways, seriously, not an endorsement. Like, I'm not affiliated with Hookah in any way. They're new shoes. You know how you get. You get new shoes. You're feeling, you know, new shoesy. Anyways, I got nothing. Thanks for hanging out. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.